the regular board meeting, October 11th, 2018. The Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Roll call. Calnet.
Here.
Gonzalez.
Yeah, here.
Masajak.
Here.
Alonso.
Here.
Novak.
Here.
Pelletier. Here. Puzo.
Here.
Okay.
Goody for somebody after me.
We are going to, there's a little bit change in the agenda. We're actually going to move down under unfinished business, the sale of 6200 Lincoln Avenue. We're going to move that to right now. And since we have Frank and Brian present, so I'm going to make a motion to go right into executive session. Do I have
I'll second that. You want to take a vote?
I got it already here.
Okay,
from
you
the
do,
previous
okay.
one. So
the, thank you.
you see no. Okay. Gonzalez.
Yes.
Masajak.
Yes.
Alonso.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Pelletier. Yes. Puzo.
Yes.
Calnet.
Yes.
Okay, I will move that the board accept the offer of Goose Lake Development in the amount of $350,000 for the purchase of the library's property at 6200 Lincoln Avenue, Morton Grove, Illinois, and that the president of the board, executive director, library director, library attorney, and any officer are authorized to execute any and all documents in order to effect the completion of the transaction.
I'll second.
You just got seconded.
Future board member. Can I interject? I think in the contract, he called himself 6200 Lincoln LLC. Conduct Goose Lake Development.
So the library's property is 6200.
No, he called himself, the buyer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The buyer, I think in the contract is 6200 Lincoln LLC
Instead of Goose Lake.
instead of Goose Lake.
So we can name it.
Changed your name.
Well, no, the gentleman does business as Goose Lake, but I think for the building, he's gonna,
Form an
he's gonna
LLC.
form an
I
LLC to just hold the building.
Okay,
Or should we do his name individually
I'll make a new motion.
as the buyer?
No, the LLC.
Okay.
All right. So 6200 Lincoln LLC,
6200.
Want to withdraw that motion?
So I will withdraw that motion.
or amended, whatever.
Or amend, okay, let's amend it. All right, so the amended motion is, I move the board accept the offer of 6200 Lincoln LLC in the amount of $350,000 for the purchase of the library's property at 6200 Lincoln Avenue, Morton Grove, Illinois, and that the president of the board, executive director, library attorney, and any officer are authorized to execute any and all documents in order to effect the completion of the transaction.
I didn't write anything for the other one, so that's fine. Is it fine?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it, I read it. Pelletier, yes. Puzo. Calnet.
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Masajak.
Yes.
Alonso.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes. Get rid of it. Do you want me to sign it now? Do you want me to email it to you later on tonight? Because I would like to have a copy for our records as well.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm off tomorrow. I'm taking the day off. I'm
Okay.
going driving to Wisconsin. So tonight would be perfect.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll get this all filled out and I'll send it over to you either tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. Probably tonight, depending on what time you get
Okay,
it.
great.
So,
Okay, I'll put a picture of
sorry.
you sign off.
So, Thank you, both of you, for.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for
If you want, you can put my information in there.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what I figured, and then we'll be in touch about what we need to do next.
Yeah, well, you know, there's some, I was just telling Brian, he used a Chicago Board of Realtors apartment building contract, so there are gonna be some tweaks we're gonna need to
Okay.
make to it,
Okay,
but it'll be fine,
Yeah.
it'll be good.
so we'll be in touch.
By 9:15?
Tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
great. Yeah, so I can hit the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, okay, we'll see you soon.
Bye, Brian.
Bye-bye.
I know it's an official meeting, but
Thank you.
thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you for all your work. Well, that's exciting.
That is exciting.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, the village finally voted then?
They voted, they did the first reading at last week's, or
2 weeks ago,
Monday.
yeah.
They meet the second and fourth Monday of the month. And so the final reading and vote, official vote will be at the end of the month. But
But there's no reason it should change.
yeah, that's my,
I wouldn't put it past them.
fingers crossed, but I think we're good.
All right. Well, that was very exciting and productive, so we are now at approval of minutes. We're at for the regular board meeting on September 13th, 2018.
Now we can have children's
To approve the minutes for the regular board meeting of September 13th, 2018.
I'll second
Any questions or comments on the regular board minutes?
Sorry.
Voice vote is on.
It's a voice
Yes.
vote.
All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Okay.
Now we're at the approval of minutes for the executive session, September 13th, 2018.
I'll make a motion to approve the executive session minutes for September 13th.
I'll second.
Same thing, or any discussion?
Any discussion, any questions, corrections?
Everybody in favor of approving? Aye.
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 Opposed?
Public comments, agenda items only? Public? President's report. Well, I definitely want to, I appreciate Brian, Ruth, and Frank Tennant for taking their time out within a couple of days and making sure they can be here. I also want to commend Natalia and Blanche. They were, I mean, you know, doing their job, but they were also just, you know, there was a lot of scurrying to make sure like the special meeting happened, and they're, you know, they, just the fact that they were ready and willing to help, and it was very much appreciated. And the only other thing I was gonna bring up, the November board meeting, is November 8th,
Correct.
I believe, right? I initially had emailed Pam, because it's parent-teacher conferences for Parkview. Joanne and I are both parents there. I think we can actually still make it work. We can just schedule our conferences a little bit earlier. Are you still comfortable with that? Do you want to talk about possibly just making the board meeting a little bit later, or?
I'm fine, I feel like, I also run the
She's
book
also
fair,
running
which
the
is
book
at
fair,
night till
so,
8 o'clock.
yeah.
I feel like I will have the coverage
Okay,
for me to step out
okay.
an hour early.
All right, so yeah, so I think we can both, you know,
So we'll keep it at the regular date and regular time unless I hear differently from you over the next couple weeks.
yes, I think we'll be able to,
Okay.
to finagle that, so. All right, so committee reports, we have finance.
Cash statement, any questions? All questions? Okay. This resolution that we're gonna sign or approve tonight is for that petty cash, right? Okay. Let's, income statement, any questions? We're like 75%, almost, done with the year. So we've only used, but we only use 75%.
No, we're 75% done with the year, and we've used about 70% of the budget so far.
Let's have a party.
Huh?
Let's have a party.
Okay.
Year's not over yet.
Yeah, the year's not over, let's not get excited, just take that for what we decided. The PMA, let's not jinx us. The PMA, that's pretty much the
You'll
same.
see what I'm like here cracking jokes.
And the check register, any questions?
Nada.
The 2768 for Waukegan roofing, is that from the,
There was a repair of the roof leaks on
Okay.
6200.
okay, okay,
Not in this building, it was on 6200.
okay, okay.
That we noticed,
That's
well,
right.
during one of the walkthroughs, Brian did notice there was some leaking, and so I had approved Waukegan doing repairs up to $3,000.
Okay.
So they sealed some cracks and did some other minor repairs to make it so it wouldn't leak.
Okay.
So that's what
That's
this
what
is.
we're done.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then 2746, the reserve account, is that the?
2700?
That is for the Pitney Bowes branch, is that what that's for?
Yes.
So our postage meter machine, they changed the way that you can add postage to it now, and now we have to keep a certain amount of money in a reserve account, and so this was the first check to open up that reserve account.
Okay.
So we used to be able to load that automatically onto the machine, and they changed that slightly, so that's what that's for.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, 2759 Creekside Printing, 4150, is that a typical amount of money that we spend on printing?
So Creekside Printing is the printer that does our newsletter. That amount is fairly typical, but then also we're doing a special issue of Books and Beyond to highlight the programming that we're doing with the $12,000 grant that we received from Age Options that I mentioned, I believe, last month. So, yeah, that's fairly typical for the cost of the newsletter.
Any more questions?
I'll make a motion to, there we go, sorry, approve the financial reports for September 2018.
This is a minor correction. The motion's supposed to go before the discussion.
Oh, you're right, no, that was,
Minor detail.
yes, you're right though, thank you.
Is there any other discussion?
The motion is fully out there.
No? Okay. We're voting on approving the minutes, or the financial report. Helmag,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Masajack,
Yes.
Monzo,
Yes.
Novik,
Yes.
Pelletier, yes.
Facilities, nothing, and then policy, nothing. Staff reports.
So in addition to my written report, I just want to bring the board up to date on where we were at with joining the CCS consortium and our migration. So we have completed what is called profiling and some data mapping and extraction of our data from our current catalog vendor, Cersei Dynex. That data has been extracted and is being loaded into Polaris, which is the new catalog system. So that is moving along very smoothly, in fact. Special thanks to, I think I mentioned my written report as well, to Helga, Head of Technical Services, Jeff, our Head of CERC, and then Ron, our Network Administrator, for facilitating all that and working on that. The profiling is actually about 60 pages of Excel spreadsheets you have to go through. So Helga, Jeff, and I had done some of that very quickly before I left on vacation, and they finished that up when I was gone. So special thanks to them for getting that done. Our tentative go-live date is still mid-January, so we're excited about that. And as I said, things seem to be moving along smoothly. We're just getting ready to start doing some data mapping, which is basically, things that say, where does adult fiction live in our library and and in the current catalog, how does that map over to the new catalog to make sure that all that stuff is correct as we transfer that. And then we'll be working on staff training. So that's where we're at with that. So I just wanted to bring everyone up to date on that. Did anyone else have any questions about my written report or anything?
I have a question on the facilities.
Okay.
The 3 concrete posts,
Yes.
for 3 of them,
3 of them.
that they put around, is Dave gonna paint those, or like with
Like yellow or something?
something that's right yellow or whatever? I mean,
Rubber, some people want to. We had
that's a good one.
they were just installed actually when I was not here,
Right,
so
I
we
saw
haven't
them.
talked about
Yeah,
that. Certainly we can paint those to make them more visible so that
Yeah.
people notice that they're there. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I'll
Right,
talk to
right,
you
right,
about
right,
that.
'cause I don't want somebody coming
Yeah.
back, well, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I will.
And look into the rubber, I feel like that's a really good.
Luckily, the person who hit the foot drop the second time, they had State Farm insurance and they were super easy to work with, and I got the check last week, I think we got it, and so we've ordered the replacement foot drop, and fingers crossed this morning.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we put the concrete posts up, so, yeah. But yeah, I'll make a note about painting those, some noticeable color.
Right,
Yeah.
or stripe, or,
Mhm. I'll go ahead and do
or
that.
reflecting paint
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
I'm always impressed with programming offered, and then there was a recent, that was canceled because of the rain, there was an ESL walk.
Mhm.
And I just thought that was such a great idea.
We were disappointed we had to cancel it. The
Yeah.
frustrating thing was that we canceled it that morning, the forecast was for rain in the morning, and it didn't rain until late that afternoon.
Right.
So you
Yeah.
can another plan for that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
So we're gonna try that again.
Yeah. And if that's something that, that was one question, if that was gonna be maybe something to try to get in. I would also suggest to advertise that to some of the local schools too, because there's a really big ESL population among the parents. I feel like that could be really inclusive.
Yeah, we've got staff that are working with Parkview
Mm-hmm.
and Golf, I think, because they pulled out of the ELL center. And so they've been working, we just met with them previous month, I want to say it was last month, about what we could do to, fill in that gap for them and help them out, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So because we always send staff to ELL to, talk about what the library can do for the families and stuff. So since they pulled out, we're not going to be hitting a lot of those families, so we're trying to work directly with the schools.
Yeah,
So,
that's great.
but yeah, I'll double check with Marlene about where that's being advertised.
Yeah.
Under department head projects,
Under Helga's?
yes, she's got the second from the last bullet, ongoing coordination of processing for weeded.
Weeded material means withdrawn material.
Oh.
We call it, when we weed the
Weeded
collection,
material.
we go through and we withdraw, old and worn items, things that haven't circulated in a while, that sort of thing. That's kind of a library terminology. But that's for withdrawn material.
Anything else?
I just wanted to give Canopy some applause. 'Cause,
Oh, have you used it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's
Good.
so many movies available. I'm
Yeah.
like, yes. for
Yeah, we're trying to
movie
really
freak like
push
me,
that,
you know.
and yeah, it's nice to have a really large collection of some interesting things, so.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
You wanna move on too fast? You're good? Is that okay? Corporate counsel, we kinda already got that. Unfinished business, 2019 budget, second and final reading. I think we were all really happy with the first reading. I feel like, unless anybody has anything they want to review, I feel like the biggest thing we have to decide is whether,
What levy might be.
what levy, yeah.
Well, being the cheapskate in the building. Though, I don't have my finger.
Oh, yeah, go ahead and take it. Nope, that's fine.
I'm reading it.
Go ahead.
You did suggest that not raising it all, no increase.
Any increase is always nice, particularly, let me start over. Certainly, we can do everything that we want to be able to do in terms of offering services and programs and you know, staffing, with a 0% increase in the levy. The only reason I would potentially suggest, or I would suggest potentially asking for a larger increase in the levy is, especially now that we've agreed to sell the building, and knowing that that money has always been earmarked to do YS renovations, does the board want to consider asking for a little bit increased levy so that there could be additional monies that we could put towards that renovation? That would be the only thing that I would say that could potentially be considered, but certainly, as I said, I would not have suggested that. I wouldn't have put the 0% increase in the levy in there if I didn't think that we could continue to offer the services and programs that we do. So, and as I mentioned at last month's meeting, understanding the optics of eliminating fines and fees, or eliminating with reduced fines, and then turning around and asking for more money. So I absolutely understand that the optics are a little bit, are important, and that, you know, the consideration is, you know, and also understanding, you know, people's financial situations in the village and stuff. So yeah.
It's frustrating. One side of me wants to keep things level because we went up last year.
Right.
And the other side of me says, if we're gonna be doing youth services, God only knows what problems we'll run into.
This is where I'm at. I'm like, you know this.
I know how many problems I don't know how many, but there were many problems
Yeah.
when the upstairs was
So I
done.
anticipate, I shouldn't say this, I anticipate, and certainly we're not gonna have the asbestos issues and those kinds of things that were on the first and second levels of the building. The very first thing that needs to be done is the ceiling and the lighting in youth services, so that will be our first priority. And I do believe now the estimates were very broad that we received and a couple years ago, and they're now a couple years old. And you know, the price of steel is going up, different things are happening in terms of the pricing for construction materials. But I do anticipate also by the end of this year having approximately $100,000 in the special reserve fund as well. And so that will leave us with about $425,000, let's say, just counting, you know, taking away all the kind of real estate transaction fees and stuff like that, and broker fees. So I think that we should have more than enough money to redo the ceiling and the lighting, but that it would be my guess that that would probably eat up all of that money then. And so then further renovations to the WISE department, we would have to then, you know, continue to save for. So on the flip side, understanding what you're saying is that none of the budget scenarios that I presented to the board last month would give us really a substantial enough increase to make a dent in some of those other projects that we would need to do at YS. So I don't know I don't know that it would be worth the, I don't want to say bad publicity, but, again, the optics, I don't know that it would be worth it to say, oh, we're gonna have a 2% increase in the levy when that's only gonna give us an additional, say, $60,000. That's not gonna make, I don't think, enough of a difference to offset, what we want is, the ongoing goodwill and the understanding of the residents of Morton Grove that we're very cognizant of their financial situations and trying to do the best and most that we can with the least amount of dollars. So again, I'm perfectly comfortable with the 0% increase in the levy if that's what the board chooses to do. And we can always spend more if the board chooses to, aim to ask for more than that, so.
What kind of problems do you anticipate anyway?
Me?
Yeah.
Just, you don't know.
It's
an old building.
it's an old building, so, I mean, you open up the walls, and are you gonna, there could be plumbing, there could be lighting.
Well, the bigger thing is, and I don't know if you, reading through the reports, both I think I mentioned it in mine and then Dave mentioned it in his as well, is last week before, they turned the lights on in youth services and they were sparking.
Yeah.
So certainly that definitely is the priority, is to do the ceiling and the lighting.
Right.
So this all works out really well and we can move forward with some of these things, so.
I'm just a little gun shy after the experience upstairs. But a lot of what was done upstairs would help down here, the lead, for example. We're not gonna run into lead problems, like you said.
The things that we're anticipating doing at this first round, I don't anticipate some of that. And certainly, like I said, the asbestos was mostly, that was all upstairs. I don't think that we've got any of those asbestos issues in the
Well, doing it in
lighting.
parts, doing it in pieces, was that gonna make a difference in the final outcome?
In terms of what?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm asking.
So doing things in phases always adds some additional cost, just because there's,
Reset up and.
yeah, exactly, that kind of thing. But we only have the money we have, so, you've gotta, so that's why, when I initially talked to some architects about what to do, I said, give me some idea of what this would be if we had to break it up in phases, because knowing that was probably what we were gonna have to do, so.
Are you still gonna do that?
Break it up in phases.
Yeah,
I
just
have
so you get a 2018 estimate.
Get it. Oh, yeah.
3 years ago.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, definitely.
Okay, so you kind of know that how much you're gonna.
Right,
need,
mostly,
sort of.
the initial thing was just so we had some idea what potentially things could
Right,
cost. It was just,
right.
I wanted to get a ballpark idea.
Right.
But now that we know that we'll have the funds and we can absolutely move forward,
Mhm.
we'll have much more, detail, just like when we did the renovation
Okay,
upstairs.
okay.
Any other further thoughts?
Okay, I make a motion to,
The motion that was made before.
oh, was there a motion made?
Well, it was supposed to be.
So I'm confused, like,
It's a hard
why
habit
would
to
I
get
make a motion
into.
to keep it a flat levy for 2019? But then if it wasn't different, then can you discuss all the options then, or are you just bringing it out to discuss it when you make the motion?
Just to discuss.
So, okay, anybody's opinion, what,
I'm just
against it.
reading the instruction manual.
from the,
No, you're right, yeah.
okay.
I don't need to be obnoxious.
No, you're we're learning,
Yeah.
so.
I used to do the same thing. I was always out of order.
Okay, but that is a serious motion, guys, does anybody want to?
So you should make the motion, and then I would also say, I would either say a 0% increase in the levy and/or give the actual levy dollar amount. Which is
So
pretty.
no increase?
Yeah, you can say that.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I'll catch up with the wording.
So your motion is for a flat levy?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Puzo?
Yes.
What we really love to do is, here's all the money.
Oh, I
Do it
know.
all at the same
Um,
time. No.
So because there had not been a decision about, we have a young visitor, about the levy amount, I did not prepare the letter that goes to the village, so I will do that and just
Okay.
give you a call if you want to
That's fine.
sign that.
Of course,
Right.
that's fine. Okay, committee appointments. So I think the only one that we need to assign is Lima. And Lima has already, thought about which committee, and she did indicate policies. And just a quick, the yellow, it's not a huge deal, but it says facilities for me.
Okay,
I'm actually.
we'll correct it, okay.
Just, yeah. I think that's a good one, especially if you're newer too. Yeah. Sale of 6200 Lincoln Ave, well, we did that, so, new business, the resolution number 2018-07, resolution authorizing transfer of funds from the general library fund 10 to special reserve fund 20. And it's pretty,
So, just make a motion.
Make a motion.
I make a motion to approve the resolution number 2018-07, authorizing transfer of funds from the general library fund to 10 to special reserve fund
And
20,
I would say in
Which
the
would-
amount of,
in the amount of
10,000.
$10,550.66, which will be that petty cash on your cash statement. So that will be reduced to 2,000.
Can you just repeat the dollar amount, 10,500?
it's
Here.
on the actual.
Oh,
It's on the
resolution.
$10,550.66, sorry.
I'll second.
Okay, Gonzalez,
Yes.
Mizek,
Yes.
Monzo,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Monterios, Puzo. Yep. Callaway.
Yes.
Also under new business, the Morton Road Chamber of Commerce Cabernet Night.
So, the Chamber of Commerce does this every year. This year, this Cabaret Night is October 26th at Moretti's. I will not be able to attend that evening. I have another, something scheduled that I've had scheduled for months that evening that I can't change. So I just wanted to know if anyone on the board wanted to go, and if so, let me know. So I can purchase tickets. So I believe tickets need to be purchased by, let's say, the 22nd. So, is it on there?
It is, it's
Tiny.
really tiny,
I
you're
know.
writing too, so
So,
it's hard to see.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
font
that
isn't the
is
best.
Yeah.
So if you are interested in attending, please let me know via email or give me a call or tell me tonight, so that I can, if you feel it's important to have a library presence, I do typically try to do that, but as I said, I have things scheduled that evening that I can see for a while. But I think that was.
I'm out of town.
You know?
I said I'm out of town.
You're always out of town.
You live out of
The
town.
next
I had to move
communications,
out of.
We did have one communication, I can pass it around, I did not get a chance to copy it for everyone. Very nice thank you card from everyone, so if you want to see it, it's here, you can see it afterwards. Thanking us for, let's see, in my working days, this is dear NGPL staff, in my working days, I really visited the library, but I think I've really made up for it during the last many years. Even though I love words, obviously, I can't find the right ones, you have that too. Or you know that too, to express my appreciation and admiration for all you do. As I've said to many people on many occasions, Morton Grove librarians are the best. Sincerely, Carol Mester.
oh,
So, yeah, I can see that.
Nice.
I'll also add a little something, this was, Barbara put this out, and I think it's a good idea, but there are a couple of, events that are gonna be held in the Bachelor that are being presented in conjunction with the Morton Grove Historical Society. One is this Sunday, Robert McCormick, the Colonel of Cantini, and then there's another one, on November 18th, Mrs. Lincoln's Salon, which is like a
It's a
performance
portrayal.
of what Mrs. Lincoln, you know, as a, you know, in her childhood.
I actually have seen that specific portrayal and it was marvelous. It
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
taught me a lot about Mrs. Lincoln that I never would have known.
right. So I have some, just, if you wanted, if anyone wanted to just make a note of that, so I have, well, I'll make sure I pass those out. Okay, so we're at public comments, non-agenda items, a little dude left, so. Just gonna fix that. Executive session, do you feel like we need to?
No.
Okay. All right, so. We can make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, we'd like to make them again.
They like to make the motion. We don't have to, but yes.
A motion to adjourn,
I always do.
7:48 PM.
Who seconded it?
I'll second it.